Okay, very good.
Hi everyone, this is Elma, the non-tech techie from the Sumo Deals Group and Bring Again Group. And tonight we have a live with Abhishek Anand, who is the founder of Mutant Mail. And Mutant Mail is a tool that I use already for the past, I think, 8 weeks, and it has helped me manage my emails because I have a lot of emails coming in, and this tool really put all my emails in one inbox and I can sort through it. I know for which email address I am receiving those emails from. So okay, so let's introduce. So here we welcome Abhishek, and Abhishek, can you please introduce yourself? Let people know more about you.
Yeah. So, folks who don't know, I have uh, I'm founder of multiple SaaS now. It started with one 2 years back, and I've been into affiliate marketing for a very long time. But these are not my, or these were not my main jobs. I have been into software development field for close to 12 years now, and I worked with top 15 multinational companies for the software world, holding various designations, including software architect and senior software architect. That includes Oracle, that includes Intel, and a lot more companies that I should not mention. So that's pretty much the small background about me. And Mutant Mail, most of the LTD community knows me for the product Mutant Mail. So that is what we will discuss today, the new feature that Mutant Mail has come with, and how it can simplify your email management.
Right. So, okay. So tonight we're going to talk more about Mutant Mail, and then later on we will also talk a little bit about your other SaaS products. Okay,
All
and I
right.
will again invite you to another live stream for those SaaS products.
All right.
So, yeah. So let's start. So let's start with the presentation for Mutant Mail and the use case and how to
Okay.
best use Mutant Mail to make sure that we can organize our emails. Oh, can you
All
please
right.
share screen?
Yeah. One moment.
Okay. So while we're waiting for Abhishek's screen, I want to welcome Chena's very long name. Sorry. Hi, Chena Keswara. Hi, Joginder. Hi, Fernando. And hi, Purushotam. And hello to Ankit. Thanks so much for tuning in.
All right. Let me move this here and
Other SaaS
presence.
products, by the time we get through that list,
All
will
right.
be 2047. Okay, let's go.
All right. You guys are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see
So,
your
all
screen.
right. So I just needed to blur a couple of areas so that I don't show a lot of things there. So if you will notice, all this is my Gmail ID where the emails are coming from various places, various domains that I own. Incises.com, abhishekanand.info, present.com, mutantmail.com, and there would be more down the line. So these are properly labeled. I can properly see where the emails are coming from, and I can just reply to any one of them. For example, this one is from Crunchbase. Okay, this tool is not letting me reply. So once I turn it off, I can show that when the demo starts. So basically, in nutshell, all the emails from across multiple domains will flow into something called control or recipient email ID, and you can reply to those email IDs, those emails that came from various domains. right from within your control or recipient email ID. In my particular case, it is a Gmail ID, but in your case, it can be anything else. It can be Yandex, Hotmail, Yahoo, self-hosted, or any other domain's email ID. Plain and simple. You can receive email, reply email, and send email on behalf of those domains. So it doesn't use a storage. There is no storage for these email IDs. Emails are directly stored in your control or recipient email ID. Plain and simple. So if I go here, once you log in into Mutant Mail, this is what it will look like. And the folks who get confused or feel that they are not understanding what the Mutant Mill does, or have been lagging behind on the couple of web streams or webinars that I have done in the past, what I would suggest is the simplest and easiest way to test if Mutant Mail will work out for your need or not is just sign up for a free account on Mutant Mail, come to email IDs tab, and right below this box, you will see a 5-step process that's called wow factor steps. Just do it. It will not take you more than 2 minutes, and it will clarify almost all the basic questions you will have about Mutant Mail, where the emails are stored, how I'm going to reply to that email ID, and so on and so forth. Plain and simple. It will only take you 2 minutes. So to once you are done with that and you
Uh,
decide,
Abhishek,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Can you
Mhm.
actually take us through that 2 minutes onboarding or wow factor onboarding?
I will have to register a new account because once there is a additional email ID created on custom domains,
Mm-hmm.
we hide that those steps.
Okay. Okay then. So we do it a bit later, or we try to find out how to do a bit of a demo of that, because
All right.
I want to show them how easy it is to set up.
Uh, definitely we can do that
We'll
as
do
well.
that later. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. So
Okay.
what you need to do is you just come on my domains and then you click on add domain. Okay, there are a couple of DNS records. Now, this is folks. This is not very specific to mutant mail. This is a very common step. This is done by whenever you move your domain, whenever you attach your domain for hosting, or whenever you make any kind of changes for email IDs across any provider. These steps will be there. So it has nothing very specific to mutant mail. These I will explain these records and why they are needed, because folks have been asking us on customer chat, why do we need these records? So the first one is for verifying just the why that the mutant, you actually own this domain and we know that you own this domain. So it's just a verification record. Next two records that you are seeing here are the MX records, and MX records are responsible for receiving of emails on a particular domain. Now we require our MX records to be on highest and second highest priority because they work in a master slave mode. That means if one of the MX record servers go down, the other one will take over and you won't even notice the difference. That is why our infrastructure is zero downtime compared to whatever email service provider you are using. The next one is for SPF. The second last is for DKIM, and the last one is for DMARC. These three records are very important, and I keep on seeing a lot of email service providers are not forcing you to use these three records, which is not safe for deliverability. And you should really start using these, because if you are not using these three records, anyone can spoof your email IDs from your domain. Very important. So we enforce this at the time of onboarding the domain as well. Once you add these records in your DNS panel, and we have DNS panel guides now for almost every DNS and domain registrar. If we are missing some, you are using something different, just let us know. We will add a guide for that. Not a problem. So you just, and to see where the guides are, just click on this link, please. And There is a long list of all the providers that you can go and you can see the guide on. If you prefer a video guide, we have a video guide for Cloudflare as well. Once you are done there, once the and this is also a very common problem. Folks don't know if the DNS has propagated or not. If that is the case, please go to website called Slim Domain. Go for DNS lookup and just type the domain DNS or your domain name there, and it will list down all the records that are present in your domain. And these are important because these needs to match with what we have provided. And same thing you can do with MX Toolbox as well. Come here, specify the type. For example, I'm checking for my company's domain, incises.com. I'm doing MX lookup, and it will tell you the priority, what order they are in. Okay, I have a blur configured on this. Let me turn all this off. Okay. So it will open and it will tell me the MX records that I am using for present.com, for example. So these need to be aligned with what you have been given on your Mutant Mail dashboard. Once it is done, you go and paste your domain name here. For example, in case I have present.com that I need to add, just type it here and click validate and add domain. In case you want to add subdomain, you can add subdomain as domain as well. There is no issue. Subdomains have independent routing, so you can have email IDs on, for example, Abhi at inbox.present.com. Subdomains have independent routing. You can add them as domains as well. Not a problem. Once you have a domain added, go back to email IDs, and to create an email ID, just click here. Select the domain you have. For example, let me select present.in. I'm going to choose the email ID format myself. And suppose I want to create Abhi at present.in. Okay, so I will just select Abhi, domain as present.in. And the domains, if you're not seeing here, that means you have not added or verified it in your domain panel. You do that, click on create email ID, and you have an email ID created. Plain and simple. This is for manual creation of email ID. I will come to the automatic part as well. Now you want a name next to this email ID, right? If you don't specify the name, we will pick your account name itself that you can configure in the setting. You just come here and type, for example, Abhishek. So this is the name we will display whenever someone gets an email ID from this email ID. So suppose I send an email from abhi at present.in to Elma. Elma will see my name as Abhishek there. If I don't configure it, the system will automatically default to use your account name then and there. In case you want to configure signatures, you can come attach your signature here in the text format, in the HTML format, and click on save signature. Once you do that, every email that will pass through our server for send or reply, we will automatically attach the signature in the correct place on the place. That way, you don't have the onus to attach your signature every time you're replying to a mail. Doesn't matter which email ID you reply from, it will automatically have a signature attached. So at the routing level, there are three kinds of routing that are done. The first one is the default routing, the default part that you see. Default routing means you have not configured a routing at all. That means it is using account level default. And for the very first time when you sign up, that will be your sign up email ID. So if you don't specify a routing at all, it is just going to pick your account's registration email ID and use that for all kinds of communication for that particular domains. If you want to change that, for example, suppose for one domain you want to configure a different email ID, for other domain you want to use different email ID. So you just come to control ID, add a control email, specify the email ID, click add control email, click a link, and get this verified thing next to it. Very important. If you don't specify the verified thing, that means you have not clicked on the verification link. and the verification links expire after every 1 hour. So I have couple of email IDs configured here. So suppose as I'm taking example on present.in, I'm just going to change, for example, let me find that email ID. I want to use domain level routing. Suppose I want any email ID on that domain should route to a particular email ID. So I'm just going to use. So now if I come back to my email IDs tab, you will see it has changed from default to domains. That means the domain level routing is in effect, and that particular email ID is responsible to handle all email IDs on present.in. Plain and simple. Suppose if I want to override this, I can override it as the email ID level as well. So now it has individual routing at email ID level. Suppose you want emails to go to you as well as your partner, whoever it may be in the company, in the real life, or whatever. Suppose you want to keep track of all the purchases that you do, and you want to handle the receipts yourself and have a copy to your friend as well. So you can just select multiple here and update. So every mail that comes to now Abhi at present.in will be going to 3 email IDs, and any of them can reply to that email. So these are the USPs that Mutant Mail had before, and then we enhanced it more. Then we added DMARC report. What DMARC report does is uh, it will tell you if someone is trying to spoof a email from your domain. Basically, what it says is, for example, I have received a couple of reports. Let me see if there is a failure or not. So there is no failure at the moment. If there was a failure, it would tell me which IP tried to send email on behalf of my domain. And then I can just click on it. For example, I click on this one. It will take me to slim domain to do a IP lookup, and then I can just copy this and see which provider owns that IP, and then I can throw a DMCA complaint at them, telling them someone is trying to spoof my domain from their network for which they are not authorized. That way, you can calm down the spoofing that might be happening for your domain. And at the very end, the latest feature that we have added, where you can buffer your emails. So what that means is you can have a hourly buffer, daily buffer, or weekly buffer. What these will do is these will create a consolidated digest email for 1 hour, 1 day, or 1 week. And the most interesting part is you can reply to any of the email ID from that digest, and directly from your control or recipient email ID.
Okay, good. So it has a lot of functions. Okay,
Yes.
so a lot of features, a lot of functions. And for me, I've already benefited on this product for the past 8 weeks and actually got it on a giveaway. And during that giveaway, I said, hey, this is something that I really have a use case for because I have multiple domains. And in each of those domains, I have an email ID, and my team has an email ID for each of those domains as well. So all of us are managing 5 or 6 emails because we all work for the same company. So it's really quite a lot for us to go inside each and every inbox, and we just can't do that. Okay, so we got a few questions here. Um, all right. So I recall that there are limits in Mutant Mail in terms of the number of domains, right? So are the subdomains counted as well in this domain limit? Abhi, I cannot hear you. You're mute.
Yep. So basically, each subdomain can have their own independent routing and they would be counted just as your domain. The reason is very simple, very logical, as I don't do anything, any logical or BS sort of things for anything at all. The reason is you can have unlimited number of subdomains in a domain. If someone decides to do that, and if we count that as one, what will happen to the system?
Oh no.
You can
Overload.
understand, right? So
Yes.
the folks can find out loopholes and there will be a disruption in service. So yes, the subdomains are counted under the limit of your domain and each will be treated as a separate domain.
Okay, so I hope that is clear. Okay, so the next one, if I create an email ID through Mutant Mail, will it create one on my CPanel simultaneously?
No, it has nothing to do with your previous email hosting provider or anything as such. In fact, as soon as you will attach your domain with Mutant Mail, your previous any inbox that you might have for that domain will stop working. Very important. All the emails that were going to your previous inbox will not work. Instead, Mutant Mail will take over and it will start routing all the email IDs for your domain to whatever recipient you have configured in the dashboard. You don't log in to the Mutant Mail dashboard for actually receiving, replying, or anything as such. Elma, why don't we give a demo? Actually, maybe the folks will be more convinced,
Oh,
and these questions can be easily answered. So,
okay, so let's do a demo on that. How
yeah,
how it
where is
actually
it?
works.
Yep. Do one thing. Send me a email to demo@incises.com.
Okay, let me just send. Give me a moment. I need to go to
Sure.
my Gmail.
Okay.
Okay, so just to let everyone know that, first of all, I'm going to send an email from
Mm-hmm.
my personal Gmail account,
Mm-hmm.
and I am going to generate a two field. Actually,
No,
I
no,
should
no.
show.
Just send me normally. Just send a mail to demo@incises.com.
Okay, but they will see my personal email. That's fine. I want this. Okay,
So
let, let me do
for
that.
for
Let me do that.
for folks who are in still in a flux, we are demonstrating that, for example, Elma is my customer or client, and she is sending an email to my professional email ID. In this particular case, it is demo@incises.com. It can be anything else on your domain.
Okay, so I'm sending you an email that says test for live
Mhm,
stream.
mhm.
Okay.
And folks, if you will notice here in the time Elma is sending me, I've configured it to route to two different recipients. So I can reply to whatever email Elma is going to send from either of these two control IDs or recipient IDs.
Okay, email sent.
Mhm. So I still have zero. Let's see. The counter will go up as soon as
The server has received it. Well, sometimes
yep.
it takes time.
It takes I believe if you your email was never seen in Mutant Mail system, then it
Mhm.
will gray list it for 5 or 10 minutes. But if it was seen, it will pass through within 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yep. So I already see it forwarded it 2 times because I have two recipients.
Okay.
Okay. So if I go here, this was yours, right? No,
No,
okay,
that's not
here, okay,
mine. There,
here.
the first one.
Okay, so I received a mail from Elma, and if you will notice, I received it on my Gmail ID, on a Gmail ID. All right, fair enough. Now, what I will do is see this demo@incises.com is not getting stored anywhere. It is not passing through my hosting provider. It is not sitting on any email hosting. It is directly coming to my Gmail ID and getting stored within my Gmail ID. So I'm just going to click reply here and I will say test reply back and I'm just going to say send. So I sent it directly from my Gmail ID. As you can see, it's a free Gmail ID, no G Suite, nothing. It's a free Gmail ID I replied from. And when Elma will receive it, it will take a minute because Gmail has this undo thing. So once Elma receives it, it will be from demo@incises.com.
Okay, waiting.
Yeah, so basically, the Gmail or G Suite gave you that option to undo. So it will take around a minute or two. So
Right.
undo means basically they are not even bothering to send your emails, and they are going to wait for a minute to give you a chance if you want to pull that email back.
So I can do that in undo. Where's the undo button again?
Oh, it's then and there in the Gmail itself.
Oh, in the Gmail. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the
Here it gives you a pop-up, small pop-up. So basically, they don't even send. So if they don't send, we cannot receive it. And if we don't receive it for a minute, it won't pass through.
okay. I'm still waiting. Maybe it went to the other box.
No, it hasn't apparently passed through our servers. So let's give it a few minutes. In the meantime, let's take another question and let's see.
Okay, so the other question is there any spam virus protection?
Yes, so we have virus protection, we have spam filters, but our spam filters are set to very lenient mode because we don't want to disturb your email uh, recipient capabilities. Okay, because if we make it too strict, we need to find the right balance. If we make it too strict, it can hamper the legitimate emails delivery as well. And if we set it too lenient, the spams pass through. So for that particular case, we have rules module here. You can configure and you can block emails at multiple levels. See all these emails I have blocked. Not just email, you can block even the domain itself. So if you will notice here, I have blocked the domain itself from making any delivery. So all the emails will come to my server, means Mutant Mail server, but they will not be received on your recipient email ID. So there won't be spam on your recipient email ID.
Okay, so I haven't received it yet, so we take the next question.
Okay.
I think it was already answered, but we just ask again. The
Mhm.
Mutant Mail store email text on Mutant Mail server.
Email text on this.
I think the email
Uh,
text, which you've already answered earlier.
okay, so now there is a difference actually. It depends on if you are using the feature or not. For all our normal features, we do not have any storage, any logging, anything like such. But if you use the buffer feature, buffer or batch, the emails will be buffered and stored on our server before we make a delivery to you.
Okay, and
So it to answer the question, it depends from feature to feature.
okay, got it. And the next one, what are the DKIM limits?
Uh, so there are no DKIM limit as such, because DKIM is just part of your domain's restriction. So there is no limit on the DKIM side.
Okay, and from David Taggart,
Mhm.
is it feasible to use Mutant as a unibox for a client when we are running their cold campaigns with multiple sending emails?
Cool. Okay, so that is a very complicated answer actually for that. Unfortunately, I don't have a simple answer. The I will tell you the logic behind it. Whenever you are running a cold campaign and to make things clear, we don't support cold calling or cold emailing. Mutant Mail is not a cold mailing tool. But if you want to use Mutant Mail as a recipient to the cold mailing that you are doing from any other parallel system, we are okay with it. The reason we are okay with it is because once the folk reply to your cold emails, it is not a cold email anymore. It becomes a legitimate email because someone is replying to the email that you sent, whatever logic you sent it with. And now the conversation is being initiated from the other side. So you are free to respond to those email IDs, uh, emails using Mutant Mail system. Now, the reason I said this thing is complicated is because most of the cases you will want to keep warming up the uh, you will want to keep warming up the email IDs that you are using for cold mailing, and that gets you into our warm up feature. So the warm up feature of Mutant Mail allows you to use a warm up tool, whichever you may be using, to attach. And there now this is a very advanced topic, unless you are very familiar with how SRS protocols, how the warm-up protocols, MX, SPF, DKIM, and all those things work. You should not touch this. I'm telling beforehand because the things will start flying out to left, right, and center before settling down. So the way it works is the SRS protocols are involved. A third party email ID is used, and that will be hooked to your what you call warm up tool. And then the warm up can keep on continue. The warm up will continue. The emails will be sent from the parallel system, and they all will be received on the via the Mutant Mail system and routed to whatever recipient email ID there may be. So it's possible to achieve what you are saying, but it requires advanced technical knowledge, or you will need a developer to set that up for you.
Okay, and in fact, I've seen someone in my email who sent me cold emails and it says managed by Mutant Mail. I have one example just to
Oh,
let you
see,
know. I don't know how they got my email, by the way. And they sent me an email to my Mutant Mail email, one of my aliases in Mutant Mail.
oh, when did that happen?
I think
Now?
two or 3 weeks ago. It's from Optics.
Yeah, you might have given that for subscription maybe, or someone would have
I no,
noticed
I
on a
haven't.
live stream.
But I know it's not from you, so they probably
Mhm.
have like those scrapers or something like that.
Yeah, so
So
it can be either that, or maybe they are making a guess. Okay, since
right.
we have this on the fly feature. On the fly means by default we have catch all enabled in at the domain level. What that does is, suppose anyone sends you an email on, I took present.in as an example, right? So suppose you sent an email right now to anything or elma at present.in, and I have catch all enabled. So what the system will do is system will create that particular email ID elma at present.in and forward that to me, to my control recipient email ID. That is called creating email ID on the fly. So sometimes it is very useful, but then the spammers can target the catch-all logic to start bombarding you with mails. In case you don't want the random email IDs to be created, you can simply go to your My Domains tab and just click that catch-all thing inactive. Very
Okay.
simple, very simple. You can just uh, disable it.
All right. Okay. So the next thing is, let's see. So can each of staff maintain my company's email belonging to the same domain separately in their Mutant Mail login without any issues?
Can each of the staff maintain my email? Yes, it's possible to do that, but then you will, since what you are looking for is one-to-one mapping, right? One-to-one mapping from email IDs to control email ID. That, that,
Not
that
clear.
yes, see what he's asking is basically he has a domain and then he has couple of email IDs there, company's email ID, and then he wants them to provide to each individual employee. So the mapping is one-to-one. So since ideally we give a lot of email IDs and then we give a limited recipient email IDs, the reason being most of the folks try want to consolidate email IDs into one or two or five email IDs. So in your particular case, you will be limited by the plan on the recipient email IDs. If the number of recipients or the employees uh, fit uh, within the limits of a plan on the recipient email ID side, you can use it. Yes, it is possible to achieve what you are saying.
Okay. And let's answer this one.
Mhm.
Could you tell Mutant security and privacy practices? Any audits or SOC 2
Mm,
compliance?
okay, so we don't have external audits done. Uh, Regarding security and privacy, uh, it's very simple actually. Most of the cases, all the tools that we are using are industry grade, and security wise or privacy wise we use minimal information. We ask you for minimal information. Your If for example you take your card details are not stored with us, it is stored with Stripe, our partner Stripe, if you make a purchase directly from us. Okay. uh, the only information, privacy information, that is actually stored on our server is your name and your control email ID. That's about it. There is nothing else stored on our server. And if you use the batch or buffer feature, the emails will be buffered and that will be on S3. That will not be with us directly, that will be stored with S3 uh, till the duration of that batching completes. So, for example, the batching is done for 1 week for one email ID. For 7 days, it will be batched, and once it is sent, it's gone.
Okay. And so
Oh,
we
and one more thing. If you
mm,
are really want privacy sort of, and again I'm stating that you should be aware of what you are doing, you can use PGP and GPG encryption on our system. Now these are bulletproof encryption systems that can be used with our tool. But do remember, if you use these keys, these private keys, nobody in the help can help you decipher. Nobody in the void can help you decipher the emails. Those are encrypted, so you are welcome to use it at your own risk if you want to use that kind of enterprise security.
okay. So the next question we have here is that if Mutant's mail server is down, all my email is not accessible. Is that right?
Okay, so we had this concern, and that was 8 months back, or 7 or 8 months back. Now there is no issue. The reason is we run on a zero downtime infrastructure, and you can ask anyone who has been our customer since quite a long time. We have not missed a single email. Folks have not missed a single email in which they would not have received a delivery notification or the email itself. The logic is very simple, and we constantly do upgrades and changes in the code every week to 2 weeks for minor changes or major updates. And you don't even notice that because we have multiple servers running in the backend. The reason we ask you for a master slave configuration in MX record is because we can take one of them down willingly anytime we want, and you won't even notice the system difference. Emails will pass through, you will get all the emails. Yes, if there is a catastrophe and all our servers go down, well, we can't help there. But it is it the idea is we have different servers sitting in different countries, and adding to that, we have disaster recovery replica running as well. So, with all that, I don't believe there should be almost ever a delay or downtime in the system in which you would be impacted.
Okay, and a follow-up question to that
Mhm.
is, in case of soft failure, will you store emails for some time?
No, we don't store. But we are looking for a way, and we are planning to enhance it, that your delivery mail, the delivery failure email that are sent to your control email IDs, will have those as attachments. Now, we cannot store those emails because till now our logic was not to store or log emails at all. So what we can do is, in the bounds itself, the emails are come as attachment. So we are working on a way to extract that as attachment and send it in the delivery failure mail so that you never lose those emails at all.
Okay. Next is, actually I received already the, I call that the mail. We got
Okay.
into the Q&A. So do
Okay.
you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, please do.
They will see all my emails. It's fine.
You need to get that blur tool as well.
Okay, let me blur my screen first. Just give me one
Okay.
moment. Yeah.
All right.
I don't even know how to use it. Okay, just forget it. It will take me
Okay.
some time to figure it out. But I do have it. Okay, so this is the show on stream.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is the email that I received.
Okay.
See, I'm trying to blur my email, but it's not doing it. Okay, so test reply back, and I received it from Frescent LLC, and it's
Hmm.
sent to. So it came from demo
Hmm.
at incises.com. It's sent to my personal email, the one that I used to
Correct.
send the email,
Hmm.
and so everything is here.
Yep. And if you will notice, nowhere my Gmail ID is being shown.
Yes.
Everywhere it is demo@incises.com. The name is what is given there, what I configured, which is present LLC at the moment, and uh, yeah, and the customer is of course getting the email. So
Okay, so now I can hide my screen. Let me just do that.
all right.
Okay, so shall we? Okay, next question.
Mhm.
You using any Chrome extension for your colored tabs? Okay, maybe could you show again your email things with the colored tabs in your Gmail?
Oh, that one. Oh,
Right,
I okay. All right.
that is the
All right.
question. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
I
That
also
that's
asked you this one. Remember in person?
yeah. A lot of folks do. So okay. So let me. Okay. You will have to put it on the screen
Yes, I'm
at
showing it
least.
now.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, you have a new screen. Just give me a moment.
Okay.
Okay, here's
All
a new
right.
screen.
So those are labels, nothing else. Okay. So let me tell you how to achieve that. So you click here. You click on See All Settings. You click on Filters, create a new filter, and at the moment I am doing a demo with Incises, so I'm just going to use Incises, but you can do it with any domain that you have attached with Mutant Mail or even outside Mutant Mail if you are. So I will just say at incises.com. Okay, I will click create filter. I will create a label, new label. I will just put it incises.com, and then I will say never send it to spam, and then I will say also apply filter. Okay, these three ticks, make a note. I will click on create filter, and then the label is created, and I'm going to come here and choose a color for it. So if I will refresh now, you will see the label is there with insights.com.
Right.
Very
So it's a
simple.
Gmail feature. It has nothing to do
Correct.
with Mutant Mail. Okay. It's
Correct. Correct.
just to clarify.
Correct. Correct. But labels are fairly common in all the email ID providers now. So you can use it very easily and give color coding like I have, like this. Very, very easy.
Okay, and okay, so earlier,
Mhm.
Sajwal asked about the DKIM limit. It's the DMARC limit, not the DKIM.
Oh, you mean for DMARC report? Okay, it is limited by your plan because we will only accept DMARC reports for the domains that are associated with Mutant Mail.
Okay, then let me see here. Okay, so this is another question. Do we need to change the DMARC, SPF, DKIM, BME settings for our domains? And
Every
aren't we
single.
sending replies using our mail server?
Uh, Okay, so yes, you need to see DMARC. So basically, our system is very smart for DMARC, DKIM, and SPF. If we are using n number of parallel systems to send emails, for example, you might have a website and a contact form from which you are sending an email, for example. So you might want to have that whitelisted in the SPF as well, so you can use it, include tags, n number of include tags, IPv4 tags, A tags in your SPF record. We only care about the MX part in your MX SPF record. So we should be whitelisted. We don't bother if others are whitelisted or not. If you want to add parallel systems and whitelist them in the SPF, you can do that. But we will always check, and this check happens every 24 hours. So if you ever make a mistake, Mutant Mail system will detect that there was a DNS change. It is not adhering to the standard, and we will start blocking your emails and send you a alert mail.
Okay, and okay, so from VJ, his question is about email signatures for each
Mhm.
of the domain and subdomains.
Okay, the signatures are not at domain or subdomains level. The signatures are at email ID level. So yes, you can have individual signatures for each and every email ID that is created on Mutant Mail.
Okay, and from also from VJ, can I use both domains and subdomains email in the same account? Will there be
Yes,
any difficulties?
yes, you can. You can. There is no issue with that. There is no
And
conflict.
it's treated as separate domains, right?
Correct, correct. It
Okay.
is, even if you use, for example, i.freshen.com, it is an individual domain for us. So there is no overlapping, no conflict with freshen.in.
Okay, and can you remove the branding managed by Mutant Mail?
Yes, depends on, now again it depends on your plan. Let me, can you, okay, my screen is already shared, right? So let me show you where you can turn it off, because we keep on getting this question on support as well. So I'm just going to show you where to turn it off. So you just search for banner and you have option to turn it off. Now you won't have the off option if you are not on a supported plan. So just check which plan you are on, and if you have doubts what is the limit on your plan, you can just come to membership or the upgrade tab here, and you can see your plan details here.
And
So
what
banner.
happens? Okay, so I see that bandwidth. What happens
Mhm.
if we exceed the bandwidth?
Okay, so if you exceed the bandwidth, the emails will be discarded. But we will send you an alert at 70 or 80%, and then one more at 90% uses for that month. It is a recurring limit, and it will reset every first of the month.
Okay, all right. And then, okay, I actually mentioned optics earlier because I received email from them. So they say that optics use a random outreach algo, send millions out, most get caught by mutant mail. Okay, that's interesting.
Okay, well, funny thing is, I have not received a mail from Optics yet, but I keep on doing demo here and there, so you never know. Someone from Optics might catch me somewhere down the line.
It's Patrick Spielman. So let me
Mhm.
try to reach out to him, see what happens. Okay. Abhi, you're gone.
There, right?
I don't know what happened there, but you were gone for a moment. All
All
right.
right, all right.
Okay. Let me see. Server logs.
Mhm.
Okay, server logs can still expose recipient ID and email subjects.
Okay, so that's true, but we do not have server logs for recipient ID or email subjects. We do have log of when we received or who sent the mail or which server sent the mail, and that log is rotated every 7 days. That is why if there is any issue at all that you want us to debug, you need to contact us within that window. If that log rolls over, we have no way of telling what happened in case of delivery failure or whatever in beyond 7 days for a particular email. Oh, actually, Elma,
Okay.
before we go to next questions, let's
Mm.
give a demo of how the batch or buffer feature works.
Okay, we
It,
could do that.
yeah, that will be very interesting because I think most of the folks have not seen the batch or buffer feature in action.
Right. Okay, so and I actually haven't used it myself.
Okay, so I'm going to set it to week first to begin with, and then I'm going to change it to an hour so that it will kick flush out all the emails in a digest. So to begin with, why don't you folks send me a couple of mails on demo@incises.com? Send me anything. Just don't write too rough because it will be visible on the screen and may not look good. Rest everything, just send me a mail on demo@incises.com.
Okay, so anyone sending emails?
I'm seeing 2 or 3 mails I already saw on demo@incises.com actually.
Right.
Folks send it for, I don't know, for some purpose. But yeah, so folks are taking it actively.
Okay, so while we wait for the emails, let's
Mhm.
do this one. Can we do email signatures for our branded domains?
Yes, of course. Uh,
Okay.
Oh, you were saying to build one? No, we don't have a tool to build the email signature. But email signatures are very easy to build. You can use any HTML tool to build a couple of lines because it's only 3 or 4 lines, right? So you can use any tool to build HTML signature and you can just paste it in the tool to start using it.
Right, and I think there are also free online email signature
That's true as well. That's true
tool,
as well.
right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about HTML program, okay, coding, whatever you call that. I don't know anything about it. So the next question is having multiple MX records, uh, can it cause problems in email delivery?
Yes, it can, but not if you are within the limit. Now, the reason I'm saying this is before I used to say there was no problem. I found a guy who had 25 MX record in the email in the domain. Now, the SPF lookup, indirect lookups allows you for only 10 DNS lookups. Okay, the full SPF record. So we use 2MX records. So two are gone for our uses or when you use a mutant mail system. Now imagine if you have a backup of 25 records, 25 DNS lookups are needed just for the MX. And then if you have includes or A tags, those are additional. So yes, it can cause failure or your SPF to fail uh, in email delivery, but not if those are within the limit. If you have 3 or 4, that's fine.
Okay. Yes, Sajwal, it's please send an email to demo@incises.com and we are going to test the
Yep,
feature.
yep. Come on, folks. I said, yep. On
Do,
on that email ID, send me a couple of emails, and I will flush them out and show you how the email digest looks like.
okay, I'll also send you an email. Okay, just give me a moment.
I remember
Okay.
folks have
Mhm.
asked me multiple times why the tool is called Mutant. Now
Oh
I
yes.
believe
How? Why?
I believe now you have the answer because it keeps on mutating from one feature to another.
But really, how did you come up with that name, Mutant Mail?
I, I, uh, to tell you the truth, I was looking for something with mail, and Mutant Mail was not the only domain I purchased. I purchased six of them, and you can see, for example, the Cliff Mail that I'm already using in conjunction with Mutant Mail, and then I had Mailstag. I had three more. Total six domains I purchased, but this one was the most catchy one, so I just
Okay.
settled for this one. Okay,
Okay.
so I
So
believe.
Auntie sent an email. VG sent an email. I sent an email. You should be
Yep.
receiving some.
Yep. So I'm just going to change it to none and it will flush out all the emails into one batch. So let's give it a minute. Okay. So it sent me a digest and this is how it looks like. So from Ankit, Andy, Sajwal, Elma. Okay. So all these emails came into one digest, one single digest. Correct?
Nice.
Now you can reply to any one of them plain and simple. For example, let me reply to you. Suppose I say, now the subject will be like this. The first time it is replied, but when you will receive it, it will be very different. Let me show you how it will look like. And let me, in the meantime, reply to others as well. So for some folks that may have sent, we might not have received the mail if it was the first time our system was seeing your mail ID. It puts it into the gray list and that takes 5 minutes for it to flush out. The mails are not going anywhere, but the first time the email ID is seen by the mutant mail system, it is gray listed. So it's quite
Oh,
possible we not. Yeah.
I already received it. I already received your reply to me.
All right, just show it on the screen. How does it look like? So that
Okay.
the folks are aware.
Sure, we'll do that.
So this way you can control how many emails you want to receive because we always have a situation couple of times. I don't want to let it go, the emails. Can you click on those triple dots actually and show the folks full email actually? Yep. You see that? It has proper quoted, it has quoted your previous mail below. It has given it
Yes.
a proper subject. Okay.
Okay.
You just click on that. Yeah, there you go. So it has proper subject, proper headers, proper reply, proper attachment, and in case you would have attached a file, it would have replied with that as well.
Okay.
So
So, yeah.
that is the power of email digest because you are not losing the email, but you are not getting hammered by a lot of emails as well. And you can have weekly, hourly, or a daily digest depending on whatever you want to choose. And this can be done on any associated mutant mail ID if your plan allows it.
All right. And then, okay. So, and Kit received this email. Zulu received the email. So yes, it is a very interesting feature indeed. Now, okay, let me see. There's another email here. Sorry, question. We are talking about emails. I say email. Okay, I guess the question I should have asked is, can I associate signatures to email addresses, and then when I reply from my Gmail address, the corresponding signature is automatically added for that inbox?
That's correct. That is exactly how it works. That is exactly how it works. And if you want to ever get rid of that signature, you can either delete it, or you can go to settings and turn it at the account level itself. So for example, you have signatures configured on 50 email IDs. You want to just turn them all off for whatever reason. You can go to settings, disable it in one go, and we won't attach signatures on any of your email ID. Up to you. So you have direct control over all the features in the settings. Even you are seeing this buffer and batch feature, right? You go to settings, you want to disable it, just click it, turn off. It will flush out all the emails immediately that we would have buffered for you so that you don't lose those emails.
Okay, and his reply is, I think this is Joe. He said it's outstanding. Yes, it is. And Ankit is saying digest is useful for newsletter.
Mhm.
And I don't know who this is, but I think this might be Nicholas. Hi guys, I love nerding out with emails. Okay, so all right. So any other features that or benefits that we need to talk about? Mutant Mail.
Well, not really,
Oh,
but
remember, we need to be able to send, for example, because what you demo to us today
mhm,
is, for example, I sent you an email to demo@incises.com. But
mhm.
what if, for example, I am using my Gmail and I want to send as elma@nontechtechie.com. So that's my
Okay,
company email.
okay.
So you can demo the
Okay.
generate
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, can you put
Okay,
my
I'll share your
screen?
screen.
Yeah. So basically, for folks who are having confusion, Elma is asking how to compose a mail. Okay. Basically, for example, if I want to compose a mail using demo@incises.com, okay, I will just click this. Just come here, and there is something called generate to. Now there are multiple ways to generate this format that I am talking about, and I will come to that in a minute. So for example, I want to send an email as demo@incises.com, and suppose I want to send it to Elma. So let me just take her email ID. Hmm.
I'll send it to you in private.
Yeah, just send me that. Or let me put
You
something
got it?
else. Let me
Okay.
just put something else. So suppose I want to send an email from demo@incises.com to care@present.com. Okay. Or contact@present.com. I just click show address. It will give me a unique format. Now I don't use this tool personally because I know what is the format. So I just generate it on the fly. But for the starting purpose, let's say I want to execute the flow demo@incises.com to contact@present.com. So this will give me a complex email ID here. I will just click copy, come to my control ID, paste it here, and I will say paste email now. Okay. So, and this complex email ID will only work from your control or recipient email ID. This will not work from anywhere else. You try to, or if Elma wants to tries to send an email using this, it won't work because she is not sitting in the control end of this email ID. I will just click send. It will pass through Mutant Mail and then go to contact@present.com. So this is how you compose an email. Now there are multiple ways to compose an email. You can go to this knowledge base article, sending email from email ID, and it talks about it. We have Excel sheet, we have Google Docs if you want to mass convert, and so on so forth. And once you get used to the format, you don't need to use the tool. And once your contact list builds up, you won't have to type all that down because your contact list will have those pre-populated, those complex formats.
Okay, so right, because I also asked you this question before, like, hey, how can I send that email?
Yeah,
So yes,
yeah,
this is really very important to users to be able to send an email from one inbox and be sent out as a different
correct,
email ID, right?
correct.
Okay, so let's see. We have other questions. All right, so yeah, so I think we answered all the questions now. Yes.
Okay, yeah,
So yes, so happy. We all are happy today. We managed to answer all the questions. We now get to know more about Mutant Mail. What can
yeah,
we do with Mutant Mail, and how can it really help us managing our emails? And now with the batch feature, that's even more useful.
correct.
So if you have any more questions about Mutant Mail, do drop them later in the comments, and Abhi is actually in our groups, both Bring Again, Mutant Mail, and of course in the Mutant Mail community, and Abhishek will answer it for you.
Yeah.
And anything else that we should talk about? All right, the incises, and you have social testimony as well, right?
Yes, that is
Okay,
true. That is true. So let's talk a little bit
just
about
a quick
so.
talk about
Yeah,
these
yep,
two.
yep. Okay.
Let me
So
hide your
the
screen.
social testimony is for folks who want to move the testimonial function out of their website. And the reason we built social testimony is because on Mutant Mail we wanted to keep on updating the testimonials, and we were finding it a headache to go back and edit the main page every time, because a lot of things can happen and a minor mistake can screw up your site, which is live customer facing production. Nobody wants that. So we decoupled the testimonial feature out into social testimony. Now all the testimonials at the moment today that you are seeing on Mutant Mail are actually coming directly from social testimony. That is the code we are using, our own tool, not just a normal. uh, so social testimony can collect testimonials for you, display testimonials for you, as well as it can pull testimonials from Amazon, Trustpilot, Reddit, Twitter. In total 14 places, 12 or 14 places, it can directly pull comment or reviews or testimonials, and you can directly along with pictures of the folks and whatnot, account pictures, so that there is no doubt that those reviews are legitimate. Folks will be able to click those small icons on the testimonials. For example, suppose it is from Trustpilot, click on it, see the actual review on Trustpilot, so there is no doubt that the reviews are legitimate. Okay.
Okay.
So, and the latest one which is making a lot of news is Incises. And can you share my screen, because this one will be quite interesting. I've been asked left, right, and center for the comparison with Snipply, because it can literally add uh, what you call uh, the CTA on almost any page which has iframe protection. So we added this box today because we received so many questions uh, for Incises versus Snipely. So there you go. It is live on our website, and we are comparing our service with Snipely, Bitly, Linktree, and others, so that you can see then and there why this one is creating a hype.
Okay.
And for folks who are thinking, what can a CTA do for you, let me show that as well. So this is my automated uh, Twitter profile. And when I started, it was having 190 followers. At the moment, it is sitting at 505. And all the links are having a CTA. So for example, if I take this out, these are articles that I'm sharing from someone else. These articles I don't own. Automatics, and these are iframe protected. So automatic summary pages, CTA on top of it, and let me show you how much clicks I'm getting. Everything live. So Almost all the clicks that you are seeing here, I'm getting from those.
Got it.
So that is the power of what CTA, a small CTA, can do for you.
Okay, so let's do another live with you to explain more about Incises,
Sure.
because I think this is another in-depth discussion that we need. This is just,
Yeah,
the tip of the
correct.
iceberg. All right.
That's
So
true.
thank you so much, Abhishek. Thank you everyone for joining us. And just to remind everyone, we actually have three types of giveaway for Mutant Mail. Those who joined us live and asked really nice questions, we are going to select three winners. And we have another giveaway via King Sumo. The link is here. Let me find the link. So this is the first giveaway, and we will announce it for last week of September. Our second giveaway is the best use case and questions after watching the video, because I'm sure that while you are using Mutant Mail, you can sign up for a free account, test
Yep.
it, ask your questions, and I'm sure that
Correct.
we have already answered a lot of the questions in
Mhm.
the live stream tonight.
Yep. Yep.
So we are going to have two winners for this. And the giveaway number three is this one. So go to, so this is my link, NTTMMGA. So non-tech techie mutant mail giveaway. So that's how how I make it shorter. And
Okay.
you can join all the three giveaways. You are all welcome to join. So thank you
Yep.
so much, everyone, and thanks
Sure.
Abhishek for your time tonight. And see you again actually tomorrow or later on with Blue Project Management with Mani Faha. Okay, bye bye
Yep.
and good night. Thank you.
Good night, folks. Have a great day then.